Okay, let's do this. Go ahead.
Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I have come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning.
Okay. I think we don't know where we stopped that time. Let's see. You remember we stopped at some place. I think we learned about the title, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe. No. Yeah, right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we learned about awake, right? Did we learn about it yet?
Yeah, I think we did do the Buddhas. We did that one.
Okay, we can do the flower, maybe.
Okay. The flower stands for virtues from the myriad conducts. Mm.
You know what does that mean?
When I think about virtues and conduct, the idea of virtues coming.
Give me 1 second. Let me open the door for.
Okay.
Yeah, Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Great Means Expansive Buddha Flower Adornment Sutra. And the flower part, the virtues from the myriad conducts, I think of conducts as being the way someone behaves, the way they school their thinking, their speech, their actions, and that certain conducts demonstrate a virtue. So if someone is generous, well, then that shows up in their conduct. And if it doesn't show up in their conduct, well, they're not generous. And so that those virtues are like flowers.
But generate myself, is that can be can we consider that to be the true virtue?
Well, if we take into account motivation, there could be types of generosity that I would say aren't true generosity. If I think of true generosity, where it's like giving for someone else's benefit,
mm,
then I would think that's, that's an expression, that's a virtue. It doesn't encompass all virtues.
mm,
But even, I would say, even giving rise to bodhicitta could be seen as an expression of generosity, because
mm,
if we set our motivation as the well-being of all living beings, that's pretty, I'd say that's ultimate generosity.
mm.
But just giving is not necessarily a virtue, because if we give and we give like business, and we're upset if we don't get what we think we need in return, then that wouldn't be a virtue.
Mm. So, so the virtue is the one that helps us to develop the love and kindness and compassion. That's the whole idea. Like usually through the patient, right? This will make us virtue. But the people cannot be able to practice patience. Then it's hardly for them to have virtue. What do you think?
That makes total sense.
So that's why in Buddhism, love and kindness and compassion require patience. Because think about it, when we take the kid, right, it requires a lot of challenge, a lot of patience. When you say the teaching for adult, it's different because they are mature, they behave well. But for the kid, no, they do not know what they do. They just go there where their habit, right, and it's very tough. And we have to be very, very patient. And remember, when we do this thing, we do for them, right? We want to make sure that they really learn a lesson, whatever we teach. So hopefully that they earn they be able to gain the knowledge that they can be able to benefit for themselves in the future. Maybe we teach them today, doesn't mean that they understand it. Maybe they understand at that moment. Maybe after 1 week, they forget. They don't remember what we teach much. But it's a good seed that we plan for them. So work for the kid, it requires a lot of patience. And I also, my master asked me to teach the kid in India. They are India kids. They in the poor part of the country. You know what? India is very poor. It's terribly poor. And the poor family kid, they cannot be able to have money for school, even the elementary school, the grade school. So what we do is there were the Vietnamese monk and monk. They opened the school for the kids, so the kid can be able to go to school. And they hire the teacher. So the teacher provide academic education at the country level. So and so therefore it's about more than 1,000 kids. So they select about 15 kids for us to teach the Dhamma. And they speak English. Well, their English is it's India English. So it's a little bit at the beginning, but once you get used to it, it's okay. So they do really good. The kid is really good. They are from kindergarten all the way to 5th or 6th, 7th grade, I think. So, and then you know what? The internet connection is terrible. Within 10 minutes, about 6 or 7 drop. and they have to reconnect.
Mhm.
And we have to wait. It's okay. But they I think they did improve a lot. But even though they have the good, they buy the good packet of internet, but internet is still not good. What we have in our country, because in the poor area, they don't have the good signal. They don't invest a lot in those areas. Um, so but the and you know what, the kid when they poor and they really want to learn, and you know what, they in order for them to have the strong internet signal, they have to go out and study outdoor instead of indoor. Receive the better signal. So yep, but that's okay. So I think it's about a month already. But anyway,
That's great.
that's good. 2 days a week. 10 o'clock in Houston p.m. 8
Oh wow.
8:30 in that time morning.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Yeah, in order to have virtual, this kind of practice, actually they are the one who help us to develop the patient. So it's not easy to have the environment so we can enhance our patient. So why the virtual is compare flower? So what do you understand in Buddhism when we're talking about the flower? What kind of flower do we use?
The Lotus Sutra, or the lotus, is very common.
Yeah, the lotus flower. Why the lotus flower is so special than all the rest of the flower?
Well, there's two things I'd want to share. The one about why the lotus is so special. My understanding is that because the seeds they fall into the mud, so the mud is kind of representative of like defilement, of ignorance and hatred and desire. But then they sprout, and they take their nutrients from that, but they grow up, and when they blossom, the flower's blossom is completely pure and untouched by the mud. So
even though they live in the mud, but their smell it's very good, right?
yeah. The other thing I think about why flower is a good symbol for virtue is because so many things come together for a flower to blossom. We can't just say, okay, be a flower blossom right there. There has to be the plant, it has to grow, it has to have all the right nutrients and temperatures and sunlight over time. It has to be taken care of for it to come to the point where you can call it a flower, where it's blossomed. And I think virtue is like that too. It has to mature, it has to have the right sort of challenges in some sense, but also nurturance and support for it to grow.
So and you see yep, the lotus flower is in the mud. That means we live in the environment that not many things is beautiful, right? So surrounding us is a lot of conflict, affliction, and so how do we be able to, while we here, how do we be able to use this environment to enhance our practice? That important. Instead of we said I wait until I go to the Buddha land and I will practice. There are no such things like that. You cannot wait. You have to do it before you go to the Buddha land. You don't practice, no Buddha land for you. So basically, from this we be able to. The Buddha said that one day, if you practice for the full day, one full day and night in this world, in the world we live, compared to 100 years, equal to 100 years of Amitabha Buddha. And you know, one day of Amitabha Buddha is equal to the whole kapas of 1,000 Buddha will appear in this world. And now Buddha, the Sakyamuni Buddha is the number 4. So we still have 996 Buddha.
I mean, you know, maybe I'll get to meet one of them.
Well, that's why we need to make a vow, right? So we can be able to meet one of them. When you meet one of them, that's enough.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to liberate from it, and you can be able to practice the Bodhisattva paths from there. But the whole idea to understand the Bodhicitta and know how to make the vow and know how to practice beyond that, that's important. Not very important. So that okay, adornment decorated Dharma on the accomplished person. Will you understand this thing?
No, so decorative Dharma, you know, it does make me think of the 32 marks of the Buddha, but those are actual physical signs as opposed to
80 feature. Right.
Yeah, as opposed to like decorative dharmas, which aren't necessarily like physical signs. But I would say that, you know, just something like consideration, thoughtfulness, compassion, caring, like all of those, they're decorative in a sense. Like, I mean, all virtues are kind of decorative because people look on them and they're pleasing. You know, when we see someone who really cares, like Mother Teresa, you know, as she was older, physically, most people wouldn't have considered her physical body classically beautiful, but her virtue was so beautiful.
Yeah, that's good, really good.
So in that sense, we could call those virtues adornments.
But when why they say that adornment, decorated Dharma on the accomplished person? What does that mean? Accomplished person.
Accomplished, I think of someone who has some sort of attainment where they've reached some level of like a degree of non-regression, where they have some mastery over the practice.
So what do you understand? If you put the whole sentence into place, what does that give to us?
Ornaments, decorative dharmas on the accomplished person. In a way, it almost seems like a sort of motivation or a sort of reassurance of the fruit of practice. That like these decorative dharmas are kind of like one expression of the fruit of practice, but they also probably help the practice too, because they help people that would come to this accomplished person to trust them and to have a good feeling towards them, so they're more likely to be able to learn from them. But I don't think that answers your question. I don't think I...
Okay, but this is very important when we understand it, and this is truly help us to understand the Bodhisattva path. They are related, very related. You remember one time I told you that well, the lay person like us, we look up on the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha.
You're not a lay person anymore.
Oh.
I think you meant normal person.
Okay, we look up on the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha at the 3 blessing field, right? But the Bodhisattva, beside the 3 lesson field, yeah, they look up on the 4 lesson field. Which one is the 4th lesson field?
the living beings, the
right,
sentient
the living
beings.
being. So that means the mentality of that is very important. If people come and cause us a lot of trouble, they are the troublemaker. We hardly have any resentment or any ill will or ill thought against them. Because if we do, then that means they are not our blessing. They are our burden. And that is the opposite of the Bodhisattva practice. So when we have that mentality, and we be able to practice love and kindness, so that means they are the one who help us to accomplish as a person. What kind of accomplish that we help? We accomplish the love and kindness and compassion. We accomplish the patience. We accomplish the given. And we accomplish the vigorous. We accomplish the meditation and the wisdom. All this accomplished. We cannot sit in the mountain in the forest and practice for many years and to attend the Dharma. That is not really accomplished in this term. Accomplished in Mahayana is not the same with the accomplished in the Theravada. Because those kind of accomplished, it does not give you the adornment, decorative Dharma. So, in the Mahayana, they are the one, that means the living being is the one help us to accomplish. And that means they give us the Dhamma. The Dhamma is the love and kindness that decorates us through the practice of patience, through the practice of love and kindness and compassion. That will decorate us through that means the living being is the one who helps all this process. Without them, there is no Bodhisattva path. And then that means there's nothing for us to accomplish. And there's nothing for us to decorate us. So when we hear in the Mahayana Sutra say that later on you will see that in the Parinirvana that when we serve the living being, we actually at the same time we adorn the Buddha land that we pursue. Then let's say that I am going to create my own Buddha land. So the Buddha land has to be very adorned and decorated. So that means that when we serve the living being, it's the same thing we serve the Buddha. And the same thing we decorate our own Buddha land, our own body, our own environment. Whatever we accomplish at this moment, it comes from them, not come from us alone. Yes, we have a Dharma to practice, but that Dharma from the Buddhist teaching, we need help from the living being. It's tough. It's very tough. But luckily, we understand the Dhamma a little bit. So when we encounter the situation, instead, in the past, when we do not understand the Buddha teaching properly, we will react. Then we break karma. Instead of we decorate it, the domain, we break karma. And that will put us in the wrong way. But now we understand it, and we try not to clean on it. emotionally. Eventually, we be able to let go. Eventually, we be able to be patient. We practice patience, and eventually we understand it. They are the pleasant few, and that they are help us. We be able to practice love and kindness and compassion. This is important. So the adornment, decorated Dharma on the accomplished person. That's how I understand it. Does it make sense, right?
Yes.
So the Mahayana teaching, once you understand the core principle, doesn't matter which sutra you read, you'll be able to pick up it like that. Okay. Sutra is the flow without end of the bubbling string. What is that?
Yeah, that, and I've heard a sutra. There are a few other definitions I've heard from the translations through Master Swanhua's the translation group he set up. Yeah, so like a bubbling spring, the flow without end. Some of the other meanings I feel like I can verbalize better than this, but it's every sutra tends to have a sort of core idea, and then there are a lot of there are explanations to uncover, to reveal that core teaching, that core idea. And it's like the way that as you read a sutra, the way the knowledge, the way the teaching flows, it kind of flows like a river. And it could give rise to kind of the different thoughts that maybe you could think of as like bubbles. But yeah, this is one of the definitions I don't feel as solid on being able to explain.
Yeah. So basically, sutra, the meaning of the sutra is in the old, right now, right, for the construction, right? When we want to measure the straight line, right? We can use the ruler, we can use this and that. But in the old day, we don't have that. What they do, they use the string.
Oh, string, okay.
Right? They use the string. And the string, they do have the ink. Right? When you make the string straight, and you just holding the string in the middle, and you just hold it up and you drop it, and it will make the straight line mark. What does that mean when we're talking about sutra at the straight line mark?
Yes, that one I feel more comfortable with. That definition, it's a way that we measure our own minds. So when we read the sutra, it will the part of our thinking that doesn't line up with the Dharma becomes revealed. So we have this opportunity to distinguish our thinking or our actions or our speech that isn't helpful, that's harmful. And so it's something for us to measure. And when I say mind, I mean like small thinking mind, not like the true nature. So yeah, it's a measurement for our own cultivation.
Don't you think the sutra, that means the Buddha teaching, is the base for us to measure, right? For us to measure the moral, right? So so basically, if we, just like you said, if anything is not compliant with the Buddhist teaching, so that means they are not. That means they do not base on that, right? So that is not the Buddhist teaching. So the straight line is just like the base that you can use to measure the quality of the mind, the morality. And that is just the beginning. But also in here, another meaning is it's just like the flow without ending. That means when we just like the universal truth, right? When the universal truth, there no ending in the universal truth. So when we learn the sutra, that means we are about to enter into see the truth, right? And this is where we can be able to, our mind be able to flow with the flow of the truth without ending. So this is what I understand. So that's important. So if we don't learn the sutra, of course, we do not know, right? Distinguish between which one is right and which one is wrong. And also, we cannot be able to enter into the flow of the truth of the universe. I hope hopefully that helped a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. I get that. There's the universal law is not like a static thing that we can describe like a rock. And a sutra could take a principle of that universal law and express it in a way that we can understand. And it's like that is because it's not a static set thing. It's like it's this endless flow that is, matching or mirroring that aspect of the principle of the universal.
When we learn about mathematics or physics, right? You learn about the theorem, the principle, the postulate, all those things. Those things, do you think they have any limit?
No.
No limit, no.
Because have you heard of Mandelbrot dives?
What is that?
If you go on YouTube sometime and look at one of these,
okay, I give you the co-host, you can say.
I put it in the text there. Oh, co-host, so I can share? Oh, okay.
Let me stop it there, I guess.
So it's plotting an equation for more and more numbers. So there's so many of them, but this is based off of this equation, and if you just keep plotting it for different numbers, what it represents becomes, it keeps changing, like it never repeats. You see these patterns that, like, some of the patterns repeat, but as you go deeper and deeper, you don't get any complete replication. You see new variations and levels of the patterns emerging from this one equation plotted out over and over. So it's a type of, they call them fractals. Maybe you're familiar with that term.
So that is the beauty of the mathematical nature. So this is just the worldly knowledge, but it's so beautiful. What about the Dharma? That is the universal truth. Remember, the visitors, they are the one who discover this thing. They are not the one invented. So, and therefore, we be able to pick it up and we learn from there. So they wrote book, many different books to explain the nature of what they found, right? And that's what we in today. That's a good thing. Okay, that's good. String diff, quite crystallization of wonderful meaning. What do you think?
Yeah, the crystallization of wonderful meaning. That's one I'd heard of before. I'm wondering about the string deep cry. I think that seems like there's some issue in translation there, like this, because I'm not sure what that would mean. String deep cry, but the crystallization of a wonderful meaning. I mean, because the universal law is not static, but as you go to explain it, in a way, it's like a crystallization of it. Like you might freeze water if you wanted to put it into a particular form. And so we can, I think, if we can appreciate the crystallization of that meaning, that can help us relate to the fullness of that natural law. It's like maybe the crystallization of it is an aspect of it that gets us in touch with the fullness of it.
Good. Deep, quiet. Oh, they go together. That's okay, they go together. So the sutra, they go together. Sutra is the flow without end of a bubbling string deep, right, quiet crystallization of wonderful meaning, attaching, attracting the boundless CY assembly. It adds for late and ancient as a constant rule. The Buddha and all the king are called the world ruler. Nominal, dependent, and proper are both style, wonderful adornment. In dividing meaning, unit, and assigning chapter name. What cap the other section are called is the number one. Okay.
The string deep cry, I think I get it. The cry is an error because that's just crystallization. That it's the beginning of crystallization that must have not gotten caught in the editing. And the stringing together, don't they talk about it as like a string that is kind of like the string of a mandala that strings together? There's individual teachings in the sutra, but they're all strung together by this common thread, this common idea, like the Lotus Sutra, that all beings have the possibility of achieving Buddhahood. But then there are all these other teachings that help us to look at that from different directions.
Constant rule, right? It at late and ends at a constant rule. That means it's permanent, right? That means the truth, it's never changed. When you're talking about constant, that means never change. That means the truth, it never changes. And the truth comes from that attracting the boundless CY assembly. That means the assembly or the multitude, right, of the audience it's just like the sea wide, right? It's wide like the sea. And boundless, like I try to boundless assembly or sea wide assembly. It adds for the lake and ancient as a constant rule. The Buddha and all the king are called the world ruler. Okay. So basically in here, if we see that the sutra is the Buddha teaching, it represents the truth. And this truth it means wonderful meaning. Therefore, it attached the boundless assembly or seas wide assembly. And it add for the lake and ancient at the constant root. That means the truth it's not where the whole assembly is practiced. And who are the practice? The Buddha and all the king are called the world ruler. I think, right? In each assembly, right, they should have the leader, right? So the Buddha is the king of all kings. The world ruler is also the ruler belong to the sacred one, and the ruler belong to the mundane world, right? Like the king. In our world, we have king, right? Or we have the wheel, the turning, the wheel turning king. Also we have a heavenly king. Those king we call the worldly king, but the Buddha is the king of all the sacred one or the enlightened one. So that's why in this book, the first chapter is talking about the world ruler. That means when in the first chapter, when each assembly, right, demonstrates their accomplishment to the Buddha. So that means they also demonstrate the wonderful meaning of the truth or the Dhamma that they learned from the Buddha. They be able to practice and they be able to accomplish. Let's see what the commentary. Okay, go ahead and read it one.
My wife started printing something on the printer. Is this really loud in the background or is it fine?
Oh, that's fine. I didn't. It's okay. I didn't know.
Okay. This passage is the general explanation of the title. General means summary and explanation means elucidation. The title is the sutra's descriptive title, its name. The 7 words, great means expansive Buddha flower adornment sutra, combine into 6 pairs, and each word can further be divided into 10 meanings. Each of those meanings including within it limitless and boundlessly many principles. The 6 pairs are teaching and meaning, general and particular, subject and object, person and dharma, substance and function, nature and appearance. The single word sutra.
No. What do you understand from me?
Okay. So, yes, the 7 words minus the sutra part, they can each they combine into 6 pairs, which is interesting. So the pairs, I'm wondering if they mean like each word, like great, is related to teaching and meaning. And then means is related to general and particular. That's the sense that I get. And, all of these pairs are a dual pair, like subject and object, that really are one. And so I'm curious about the connection between these pairs and those individual words. The first part about the title, that general means summary, explanation means elucidation. These are just synonyms for those words. Yeah.
So the 7 words, right, of the title combine into 6 pair, right? Is that what it says?
Yeah.
And each word can be further divided into 10 meanings. Each of those meanings include within limited and boundless many principles. So the 6 pair is, okay. They are just like the subject and the object, right? For example, teaching and the meaning, right? When you're talking about teaching, you're teaching about the meaning. So the teaching is just like the subject. The meaning is just like an object. General, vice versa with particular. For example, the whole human body, it represents for the general. But if you look inside the human body, you have many particular part of the body. So many particular part of the body, it make up one general body. Right? Subject and object, just like we are the person, right? This is the subject, and the object is other people. Or what else beside that? Do you have any good example for subject and object?
Oh, other than sort of this, the sense of something being aware of something else, like, you know, my notion of self would be the subject for any object I perceive.
Okay. Oh, we are the observer, right? That means the subject. And the feeling or the thing that happening in our mind or in our body is an object. Person and Dharma. Well, person is just a person. Dharma, that means it's the thing, right? Phenomena. Person, that means living being. Dharma, not only the Buddha teaching, but also mean phenomena. Substance and function. For example, water is a substance. But the function of the water, it depends on what kind of form of the water you're talking about. For example, the ice, right? The substance of the ice is water. So the function of the eye is you can use it for to help us to cool down, right? Okay, that is the function. Or the function of the eye is it will melt, right? When you put under certain degree, it will melt. Right? Or the function of the water is wet. Or the function of water, you can use it to wash clothes, you can take a bath or whatever. Those kind of functions is related to the water. You can use water to cook. You can use water to drink, to wash your body. And you can use water to watering the plant. There are many functions of it. But the substance of the water is the water. But the water, they do also come into many different forms. The form of the solid, right? Form, that means the ice. or when you put the water into the high heat, right? It will evaporate, right? It becomes steam. That is a different form of the water. Nature and appearance. The nature and appearance. Nature just like empty, right? From the empty space, you have form. You have different things appearing. The nature of the natural resource, right? But when you use those with the certain formula of the chemical formula, it will come into different appearance, different form. For example, if we want to turn those into sugar, into vinegar, or into laundry detergent, right? You just give you different formula, it will turn into different appearance. But it comes from the nature.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And I kind of peeked at this next part, and it seems like it's going to explain some of it too.
Okay.
How
In here they say that they combine into 6 pair, and each word of the pair is further divided into 10 different meanings. That means it becomes very profound. Okay, go ahead and read the last one. We can stop after this.
The single word sutra taken by itself belongs to teaching. The 6 words that precede it, i.e. great means expansive Buddha flower adornment, belong to meaning. That is, the pair of teaching and meaning. The second pair is that of adornment, which belongs to general. And the preceding 5 words, great means expansive Buddha flower, which belong to particular. That is the pair of general and particular. The third, flower, is the subject, and the great means expansive Buddha is the object. That is the pair of subject and object. The fourth, Buddha, is the person who becomes accomplished, while the preceding 3 words, great means expansive, are the dharmas which adorn. That is the pair of person and dharma. The fifth, expansive, is a function, and the 2 preceding words, great means, are substance. That is the pair of substance and function. Sixth, the word means is an appearance, while the word great belongs to nature. That is the pair of nature and appearances. Altogether, there are 6 pairs. If the 7 words, great means expansive Buddha flower adornment sutra, are discussed in detail, there are very many meanings, and the principles are even deeper and more wonderful than those of the Dharma Flower Sutra.
Okay. We can stop right here, and we will go through and we digest this thing next time.
Okay.
I think it's stop right here.
That last line is especially interesting.
Okay.
But just thinking about the title, is because the Dharma Flower Sutra, isn't that another name for the flower adornment?
Yeah.
So just considering the title in detail is even deeper and more wonderful than the whole sutra.
Yeah.
That's wow.
That really, that's why the name of the sutra is also important, because it conveys the whole teaching of the sutra.
Wow, that's easy to miss.
Huh?
That's easy to miss. If someone just were to pick up the Flower Adornment Sutra and start reading it, they'd be like, oh, Flower Adornment Sutra, wonder what that's about. And flip through, like, okay, let's skip the preface, skip the introduction, let's go to chapter 1.
Okay. All right. Let's do this.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Thank you. Okay, I see you next time.
All right, thank you, Tay.
Namo Idapa.
Namo Idapa.